Goddamn. Yep. Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. All right. Now, okay. Thanks, OBS. What is going on, everybody, man? Welcome back to another edition of NHP, man. Welcome back to another edition of the news. And this is episode 257 of the news of the Friday show, man. And welcome back to everybody, man. Thank you guys for joining us here today. We got a bunch of news here today for you guys. A bunch of interesting news. There's news that literally just broke, go fucking figure, right before we go live, regarding one of the Lucha brothers.
Well, I literally just looked at Twitter, bruh. There's another teaser that happened that I'm going to send you on Twitter, and it
You're
looks like an Aleister Black teaser.
what?
Yep. Yeah, that's what it looks like. It's all black. There's smoke, and there's count. Hold on, I'm sending it to you on Twitter. It
No
says
way, dude.
4. It just has the number 4 on it.
4 years he spent in shit in AEW. Four, 4 years of shit.
I don't know what the 4 means, but yeah.
Okay.
Maybe 4 weeks? I don't fucking know.
Okay. All right. 4. How many weeks
I
till
don't.
the SmackDown after WrestleMania? Let me see.
I think
One,
it's
two,
within.
3, 4. Okay, no, that wouldn't make any sense. That means he would debut the SmackDown, 2 SmackDowns before WrestleMania. I don't know what the 4 means, but dude, that's definitely
Maybe
that's.
April,
I'm sure it's
July.
Aleister Black.
Yeah, I'm sure. So that's exciting.
God damn, bro, that is crazy work, dude. That is crazy. See what I mean? We have news about that and how annoying that that's gonna be. I'm sure for the next 3 weeks. So again, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of NHP. Welcome back to episode 250, or welcome to episode 257. Thank you guys for joining us, as always, here today. As if this is your first time watching, you guys do not know how the show works. Every Monday, we are on here after Monday Night Raw with NHP Unscripted, and every Friday, we are on here at 4 p.m. Central with the news, man, with the news. If you guys did miss this past Monday's edition of Unscripted, Roman Reigns comes back for Seth and Punk. We talked about that episode of Monday Night Raw, and we talked about some good stuff about. We actually had some pretty good discussion regarding SmackDown. We talked about the LA Knight and Nakamura situation. We did say to you guys on Monday, we hope to have more concrete information on Nakamura, being that all the rumors about his contract coming up with WWE and all that stuff. We actually do have more concrete evidence or update about what's going on with Shinsuke Nakamura. And with all that, if you guys did miss that, that is available for you guys on all platforms. That is Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and if you want to see it first, like I said, join us right here live every Monday after Monday Night Raw with NHP Unscripted. We'll get back to that in just a second. Also, if you guys have not got a chance to pick up some of the official NHP merchandise, you guys can now get this beautiful, beautiful piece of merch, the NHP Next Chapter design. You guys can now find this live on the merch shop. That is bonfire.com. Link is at the top description of this very video. You can pick up yours today, man. With that, if this is your first time watching and you guys do not know who we are here at NHP, I am Johnny, one half of the host of this very show, and as for the other half, we got my man Sir K here. How the hell are you, bro?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Just been chilling out, man. Just been chilling out, just waiting for all this Mania stuff, man. And this is the season of a bunch of people coming into WWE. Obviously, by all the shit that's happening on SmackDown tonight, that's exciting week by week, and basically just waiting for Monday to see John Cena again, man. So I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Just waiting for Monday at this point. That's usually, you know, back a few years ago, my weekday would usually wait till Wednesday, and that was the most exciting day of the week. Now, usually that's the least exciting day of the week, and now Monday's the most exciting day of the week half the time. So I'm very excited for on Monday, and certain Fridays and Saturdays, but that's kind of unrelated, man. But other than that, man, I'm doing good. Like Durante always asks, how's life? How's the family? Life's good. Family's good. How's everybody doing in the live chat? How's everyone doing watching the replay? What about you, bro? How are you doing?
I am doing good. I am doing good, man. And yeah, honestly, just chilling, bro. Just chilling. We are enjoying our first 70-degree weather day in a
Oh, it's
minute.
beautiful.
So it's very nice outside. Definitely caught me off guard for sure. But that's good. That is good. But other than that, man, nothing too much. Other than that, yeah, nothing. Nothing really much going on, dude. Just waiting, like you said, man, waiting for WrestleMania. Excited for this WrestleMania build. Waiting for uh actually what I'm really waiting for and I'm really excited for is Monday because
Hmm.
if you guys did not get a chance to catch Unscripted, we put an image up for you guys, man. I'm going to play the image again for you guys as here it is, and here are your official U.S. start times. This is for the U.S. audience for the next 3 Monday Night Raws, as obviously you can see here. I have the date, the location, and I have the U.S. Time zones. So just match this up. If you're obviously not in one of these 3 time zones, you could obviously easily match these up to your time zone. As with all that, as you can see, for us, we're Chicago guys, so we are Central Time, and obviously we got 2 p.m., 3 p.m., and another 2 p.m. So bringing us over to the image on the image on the right side of your screen. What time will we be live with Unscripted? We will not be live at 10 o'clock to cover a show that ended at about 4:30. So we will be live directly after the show goes off the air. As you can see, this Monday, we will be live with Unscripted. I know you guys are probably used to the 10 o'clock, but we will be live on Unscripted at 5 p.m., assuming the show ends at 4:30-ish. But we will be live, and then obviously for the 24th, we'll be live at 6 p.m., and the 31st, we will be live at 5 p.m. again, or obviously whatever time Monday Night Raw ends. So take your screenshots, do what you got to do so you do not miss Monday Night Raw, because obviously these are times that we are definitely not used to Monday Night Raw airing.
Oh,
So,
no.
yeah.
But I'm very excited. I love those times. And having daylight during unscripted is going to be the weirdest thing ever, dude. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's already it's like last week was our first week kind of watching Raw with like a little bit of sunlight as as the show begins. Watching a whole episode of Monday Night Raw in daylight, that's just gonna be fucking weird, man. I'm sorry. That is just
Hmm.
that is just gonna be weird, dude. So but other than that, as Durante always asks, I am good. Family's good. What about you, Durante? Logan, Bell, everybody in live chat, or everybody a part of the replay, man. My guys, JT and JB. How are you guys doing? Thank you guys, as always, for joining us. Belle is doing math, so she doesn't miss Unscripted. Wow. The
Wow, look
loyalty.
at that, man. Can't be solo. At least he wouldn't. He would. At least Solo Sokoa would be paying attention right now.
Fuck math, bro. Fuck math.
Fuck math. Did you see who else got it? It was someone else that had their
Rhea
yeah, it
Ripley.
was Rhea Ripley.
I
I
hate
hate
school.
school.
Yeah,
And look at it, dude, that shit kills me, dude.
hilarious. So, we have a lot of news here today for you guys, man, but I guess we shall start with the oldest, I guess by one of the oldest, by this time, pieces of news. AEW Revolution. AEW Revolution, man.
Oh yeah, we dig. It's easier than doing math. Okay, you are like
Oh,
Solo. My bad.
never mind. She is like Solo, dude. She is like Solo, I guess. Belle, I'm sorry. I'm always trying to skim through her chats, and she always calls me out. Can you ever just not call me out for once? Okay, please, for the love of God. For the love of God. I take my keywords and I try to use my context clues, but apparently my fucking context clues are shit. Um anyways, so, you know, my guy here, Sir K, he's always happier than a pig in shit for one reason or another. But one thing Sir K wasn't happy about, as well as many of us, was the AEW Revolution main event. What the hell happened? What the fuck happened? Honestly.
What was that? Yeah.
Well, we have news for you guys, man, because we have news on original plans for that main event, as well as why in the blue hell Christian Cage was trotted out there to use up his contract. So, if we're talking about the original plans for this show, man, so on the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer, Brian Alvarez spoke on the Revolution main event, and he suggested the match was meant to go down differently, with Alvarez stating the original plan for the match was to have more interference, including some potential returns. For reasons yet to be revealed, plans were changed last minute, although it is believed that the outcome was never in doubt, with Moxley versus Strickland almost certainly always planned the destination post-Revolution. He says, I don't know all the details, but there was apparently some idea for the main event to be involved. The main event that involved way more people than ended up being out there, including some returns. And at the last minute, it got axed. I don't know who it was or what they were going to do, but there was a second plan that did not take place. It was not Shane McMahon, for the love of God. Whatever it was, it involved people that have been there in the past. I'm 99% sure that no matter what the plan was, before or after, Moxley was always retaining, and he was always going to face Swerve at the next pay-per-view, Alvarez said. The match itself seen interferences from Wheeler Yuta, Jay White, with Christian Cage later being involved and losing his world title shot. What in the world? See, if I were to conspiracy theorize about this for a minute,
Okay.
could this have been the return of the Death Riders, but maybe Adam Copeland did not want to look weak in taking out the Death Riders just for them all to return and hand him his own ass? Could that have been the case? Other than that, I truly have no fucking. I mean, who the fuck was gonna? Were you gonna trot out the Dark Order to return and go out there and help John Moxley? I mean, honestly, dude, other than the Death Riders returning to then hand Adam Copeland his own ass, like I said, I don't know. I don't know who the hell could have returned. Why that could have got axed? Well, why would Adam Copeland take out a whole group just to have them return? That wouldn't really make Adam Copeland look very strong in his attempts to take out the Death Riders, now would it? If I were to take a guess, I'm sure that's the reason why that got axed. But if that was the plan, obviously. But as far as the plan,
the story I sent you of the person that got axed that was going to return,
I did not see that. No.
Oh, okay. Let me send it to you then, because there was a certain person related to Christian I was going to return. Let me.
Oh, no. Okay, I did see Luchasaurus, right?
Yeah, a lot of people think it was going to be him because he was there.
LOL. What was he gonna do? Come out there and help Christian lose his? That's a horrible idea. Was he gonna? Well, I mean, unless he was gonna screw Christian, I guess that would have made a little more sense. Yes, I did see he was backstage. But
okay.
That. I mean, other than Christian winning, I mean, if the plan was for Christian to win the title, I guess that would have made some sense. But if the plan was for Christian to still lose the title, you could have had Luchasaurus screw him out of that. But
especially with what they, and we'll talk about it on Wednesday or on Monday. Back what happened on Wednesday. What Nick Wayne implied on TV is that wasn't a part of the faction's plan. Is that Christian just ended up running out there and trying that in the moment. So like, how would Kill Switch or Luchasaurus help that situation at all? He really wouldn't.
See, and now with Luchasaurus on the brain, I could absolutely see that Christian patriarchy storyline going in a way of, Nick Wayne was always kind of the spoiled kid in the group. He was the one that Christian loved. Now he's not so loved by Christian anymore. So is Luchasaurus going to come back in the defense of Nick Wayne and maybe feel like,
He
you know,
will.
and maybe he kind of, starts to feel a little brother, big brother type bond with Nick Wayne, similar to the Jungle Boy Luchasaurus. Maybe he kind of has a soft spot because, hey, why are you treating him like a complete fucking asshole? I could see that.
Exactly.
I could see that being the case. I could see that being the case, man. But um, you know, with the next story, I'm gonna have to go ahead and say returning Luchasaurus in the main event of Revolution was a horrible idea because the plans for Christian Cage and his undisputed next AEW contract were revealed.
Mhm.
Sean Ross Sapp reported on the Fightful Revolution post show AEW booked the cash in as the promotion wanted to get this damn contract out of here. Christian was pitched the idea to cash in at Revolution the week leading up to the pay-per-view. Jon Moxley's AEW title challenger was established at Revolution as Swerve Strickland defeated Ricochet in a contender match for a world title shot. A future match between Swerve and Cope was teased at Revolution, or after Revolution went off the air, as well as this past week's episode of Dynamite. However, brother, where? Oh, okay. I completely lost my... Okay, yes. Christian held the Money in the Bank S contract since winning the Casino Gauntlet at All In 2024. He cashed in the main event against Jon Moxley and Cope to make it a three-way match, costing the former Edge the win. Christian looked to set up the victory following a spear and kill switch. Jon Moxley broke it up, broke up the pin with a bulldog choke and choked Christian out. And the company reportedly had no plans of Christian successfully cashing in the contract and simply just wanted to axe the storyline and get the contract out of the way.
Yeah. Who does that sound like?
I'm tired of fucking saying that, dude. Like
Oh,
this,
dude, I'm so
like
sick of it.
the saying at this point is it starts to annoy me how much we have to fucking say. Who does that sound like? But what else can
That
you
is,
say other than who does that sound like?
it's literally, I could read that story, replace AEW with WWE, and it would be a 2018, 2019 fucking news story, man. Oh, Vince McMahon just didn't know what to do with this thing, so he just had them just in one moment just get rid of it. That's the more, and the thing that kills me, it's not like you actually booked yourself in a corner with something and you were just getting it out of the way, because sometimes you got to do that anyway. But like, dude, that thing could have been creative as fuck. You could have
Yep.
done so much things with the way they made that contract work, and they were confused. Tony was confused about that. The most open-ended thing you could have done.
You could have done so much. Like I swear to God, this just came off the top of my head. You could have done something like this. You could have done something like this, bro. You could have had... So on Wednesday, we got Will Ospreay talking about how he was going to, challenge for the AEW World Title at All In. He's going to enter the Owen, right? So assuming the
Mhm.
winner of the Owen has to win, the Owen to get the world title shot at All In. Okay, that's fine. Well, you might ask, what about Darby Allin? Okay, Christian just started a beef with Nick Wayne. How about Nick Wayne takes it upon himself to steal the contract, give it to Darby Allin, so Darby Allin can sign it and announce himself as a part of the Jon Moxley versus Will Ospreay match at All In to make it a triple threat match. Wow. That just came off the top of my fucking head. How creative you could have been with that contract.
Oh yeah. Easy. You could do so much. You literally have a contract. It's literally basically a money in the bank briefcase where someone can just steal it at any moment and make themselves to have that and do it. That you could do so much things with that, dude.
You have the world of opportunities. And again, I just spat one out about
Mhm.
Darby Allin and getting Darby Allin in the All In match. What about the shit that everybody wanted to see with Jay White? What
Yeah, you could
about
easily done that.
Yeah, what about Jay White stealing the contract, cashing in on Adam Copeland? What if you wanted to have Hangman be the guy to challenge John Moxley, and then MJF gets a hold of the contract to stop Adam Page, being that they're basically in a race to see who can
Mhm.
become the world champion the fastest again. Wow, how many fucking creative options did I just come up with off the top of my head?
Literally the easiest thing to book in the world, and you were so confused about it, you just had to get rid of it in a fluke horrible spot. That's insane.
Like what? What the? It, it it just it doesn't make sense, man. It doesn't make sense. And again, you trotted this guy, you trotted Christian out there because you wanted to get it out of the way, because you're creatively bankrupt, and because you have two guys in the ring that refuse to take a pin. So honestly, we should all be giving Christian Cage his flowers because he was the only fucking guy on March 9th who wanted to fucking do business and who wanted to actually end the fucking match because as far as we're concerned, John Moxley and Adam Copeland might still be in the Staples Center fighting over who's going to take the fucking pin.
Yeah, neither of them can take a pin. It's two fucking Hogans talking to each other. It's like, dude, someone's. It's okay to take a pin at the end of the day, bruh. Like, holy shit.
And of course, everybody that main event was critically bashed throughout basically every fucking body that is a wrestling fan. It was bashed.
Even their
And,
most hardcore fans hated that main event. That's how you know it was bad.
and what do they go and do?
Do it again. They
They
run it back.
Tony,
Look,
I swear to you, Tony must have seen a tweet, or he must have watched a podcast, or he must have went on his message boards. He must have did something and seen, man, this main event was so bad, it really needed a stipulation and it would have been all right. That man heard that and was like, you know what? We're going to do that. Dude, nobody want. And then you have fucking Swerve cutting a promo backstage, and Copeland comes up to him and says, if I win, you're going to be facing me. But if I don't win and you end up beating John Moxley, you're going to be seeing me. So either fucking way, he's going to be seeing you? I mean, what?
what do you mean by that? You're gonna lose to John Moxley again, and I'm gonna let you face me for it? What the fuck? What? Are you stupid? You're like, dude, it's insane, dude. This whole situation with all these just egos clashing is just
Oh,
insane. And Bell, I hate to break it to you, I think he'll go insane then. I don't think Swerve walks out Dynasty as champion.
I'm going to be honest with you, man.
I
Uh,
want him to. I don't think he will.
I think building up to All In, John Moxley is probably going to run through his hardest challengers. I think he's going to run through Swerve. I could see him running through Hangman, and I
Probably
don't,
MJF too.
maybe Osprey. Maybe I honestly, dude, I honestly think I seriously think that John Moxley is about to run through like their like
The
top
whole main
fucking
event scene.
guys. Yeah,
Oh, 100%.
until he gets to Darby Allin. Until he gets to Darby Allin, I honestly, I think we're in for a long final 4 months of this title reign. So
They really are.
yeah, I think we are. I think we are, man. But so buckle up. But man, uh, you know, I, I don't even know what to say. I genuinely don't even know what to say, man. I mean, Tony Khan, the fact you wasted one of the most creative things you can possibly have in your professional wrestling company because you simply didn't know what to do with it is shades of Vince McMahon, dude. If you are that
Oh yeah.
creatively bankrupt, and if you are that creatively bankrupt and you can't have two established guys take a pin that easily can take a pin because they're established guys, that then this may not be the job for you, bro, because
No.
clearly you are just letting these guys do whatever the fuck they please, and it is horrible, man. It is really horrible shit, dude. And obviously I think everybody's feeling the effects of that from Revolution's main event. So
Almost definitely.
so that was Christian Cage's plans with the contract, or lack thereof. And that was Moxley and Adam Copeland's Revolution main event plans. Either way,
Horrible plan.
it was 26 minutes of dog shit, and it was 26 fucking minutes of a. I see a lot of people saying it. That was probably the worst main event in AEW pay-per-view history.
I would
Um,
say easily. It was not only was the match itself boring, but the ending was dumb and it sucked. You
yep.
sometimes, you'll get a main event on a pay-per-view that's one of the two. Maybe the main event and the match itself wasn't good, but the ending was really cool, or the match was really good, but it had a lackluster ending. You literally had both in one main event. God damn.
Man, I don't know, dude. I don't know, but yeah, it's got to be the worst main event in AEW pay per view history, man. And you would, bro. I don't even know. I genuinely I don't even know at this point, man. I don't even know. This title reign
Who
sucks,
knows,
dude.
man?
Tony
It's
Khan
horrible.
has again. What do you even say, man? He's got to get it together, dude. He's got to get
He's
it
got
together.
to.
This company has never been more tone deaf in its entirety, man. I mean, for the amount that they like to go out there and just preach everything's great, AEW's fantastic, and all the this is our company's best run, and all this shit, man. I mean, you have really got the rose colored goggles on, man, because how you did something like that. How you did something like that, man, is beyond me, man. AEW in 2021 would have never.
Never, never done some dumbass shit like that.
So, more news regarding AEW, and I guess pointing towards All In. According to Fightful, AEW has reportedly discussed the idea of merging the International and the Continental Championships. The report notes that many in the company had considered them firm creative plans, but it is unknown what form the merged title will carry. Uh, do not carry on that. Do not get rid of the international title for that hideous Continental Championship. Do not do it.
No, please do not, man. You have the international title and the continental title. It screams itself. I don't care that other companies have a title with the same name. Intercontinental title, boom, easy, right there. People, and that's a recognizable title name. To where any company, you hear Intercontinental title, you get an idea, and that idea isn't bad. You know what I mean? Usually, for most companies, even WWE, New Japan, Intercontinental, one of their best. So change it to Intercontinental. That's a good, recognizable name that people respect that title name, and boom, easiest way right there. And I do think this is true from the vibe I get with everything and the direction they're taking it. I really do see, Kenny Okada merging the titles, and I think that's good. I think that's a good decision, man. I don't know why you had three mid-card titles in the first place. I mean, at this point, I mean, you could have used the Continental more because you don't really use the TNT, but I digress, man. But I think it's better, everything more organized. Combine them, you got an Intercontinental title right there. and and overall, if you want to, keep an overall design, just keep the international title, change the name on it to intercontinental, and boom. Because that, like you said, that continental title, literally like the flattest, most barren thing
Ugh.
in the world, man. It's horrible. But overall, I like this idea. I think it's a really good idea, and I think it'll just better that title and that division itself.
100%, man, 100%. And obviously, a lot of people may say, well, you're copying WWE by doing the Intercontinental title. Not necessarily. First of all, everybody has a Intercontinental title. At least New Japan has one, and they're another big company. Nobody ever said they were copying WWE necessarily. And in with both of the names of each title, it does make sense. International, Continental, just take the national and slot in Continental, and there you have your Intercontinental Championship. I think that would be a great idea. And obviously, we all knew this match was going down. Kenny Omega came back to stare down Okada, and then
They never interacted
and
again.
then they never and then he just feuded with Takeshita for the international championship. Obviously, these two are on a collision course for one another. I'm sure that was one of the main reasons Tony Khan wanted to even put pen to paper with Kazuchika Okada, was to get the Omega match. And obviously we knew we were getting at it. What I can say is I'm glad this wasn't Kenny's first feud back.
I'm glad they saved it.
Yes, I'm glad they're saving her for a big show. Unlike Will Ospreay and Ricochet, that they could have done that at All In too. But what did we have to go and do here, man? We had to give us the match about 3 weeks into Ricochet's AEW run. But we all knew this was going down. And
Mhm.
I am glad that they, like I said, I am glad that they did wait for it, man, and not just, did it as Kenny's first fucking feud back from being on the shelf. And Bell says, Matt and Nick, come save your company, man. Those guys,
I
man,
don't think they care much about the company anymore.
I at this point, man, I'm waiting until 2027 so they can get the fuck up out of here, man, because I said it back when, all the Ray Phoenix and all the, Ray Phoenix Lucha Brothers stuff was going down, man, but there was the reports that came out that Matt and Nick feel that, this isn't our problem anymore. And I said it then, and I still am going to say it now. Those guys have gotten so fed up with what Tony Khan has done to their company, they don't give a shit anymore, because it's not their problem anymore, because obviously they're still EVPs, but looking at what Tony Khan did to their buddies in the Lucha Bros, it's well documented. The Young Bucks love those two. I love those two. In a lot of eyes, that's probably their greatest rivals, and that's valid. Looking at what Tony Khan did to both of those guys on their way out of the company, I don't blame Matt and Nick Jackson for saying, dude, we don't want no part in this, bro. That's how you did our friends.
Yeah.
Are you serious? And I'm sure it's not just the Lucha Bros. I'm sure it's everything else, man. Look at how he did their creative during their tag team title reign. I mean, I wouldn't want to have any peace with that either, if I'm being honest. So, as much as I do want them to come and save their fucking company, because they are my GOAT tag team, man, and I love Matt and Nick to death. Again, I think they're a stellar tag team, man. I think they're fucking tremendous. I get it. I get it, dude, because this company, and especially too, do you guys remember those pep rallies that AEW used to do where Matt, the words came out of his fucking mouth? This company is going to give you the very best tag team wrestling the world has to offer. And for many years it did. For many years, man, we've seen the likes of the Bucks, Jurassic Express, Lucha Bros, Red Dragon, so many, Santana and Ortiz. I mean, the list goes on and on. We've seen so many good tag teams in this company, and they were giving you the best tag team wrestling, like they said, the world had to offer. The Acclaimed, Swerve in Our Glory, a bunch of great fucking FTR, a bunch of great tag teams, man. You look at the state of tag team wrestling in AEW for the past 2 years, you don't think the Young Bucks want to fucking throw up in their mouth every time they think about
Mhm.
that tag team division and how it's booked? I don't blame them.
Exactly, dude. Hell no, I don't blame them.
So, a lot of people, and there are a lot of people that do get very hostile towards the Young Bucks and want to blame everything towards them, or they want to blame things on Kenny. It's none of these guys' fault, man, because at the end of the day, sure, these guys might have had their problems with Punk, but if they had a leader that was actually a fucking leader, look at how the drama in WWE with Jade Cargill and Shayna Baszler was handled.
We didn't even know about it for months.
We didn't even know about
Yeah.
it, dude. And when we did find out about it, all we heard was that as soon as it started, those in WWE kind of put it to bed quick
Yeah,
because it's bullshit
that's how you do
drama.
it.
And
Mhm.
they had bullshit drama in AEW, and T- Tony Khan damn near put it in a fucking seasoning pan and let it marinate for like a let it marinate for like a year and a half, just so he can get the very best fucking cut of steak that he possibly can. I mean, are you fucking serious, dude? That is
Literally.
um so yeah, man. I mean, as much as I miss the Young Bucks, man, I don't blame them, and I honestly think their passion for AEW, I wouldn't even doubt if their passion for wrestling is being beaten out of them.
Wouldn't be shocked. I really wouldn't be shocked at all.
So, yeah, it sucks, and I miss them, but I understand, and I don't blame them one bit.
Mhm.
So, speaking of more AEW news, Eddie Kingston. So there was a weird post that was posted by Eddie Kingston on Instagram where he said something along the lines of I don't understand AEW anymore. If you give me 2 seconds, I can pull it up. Okay. He says he posted a picture of himself, and he said, love is the highest elevation of understanding. I don't understand AEW anymore after last night. Obviously talking about Revolution. Why come back? Shake my head. Shaking my head. So Chris Featherstone got an update for us on the Eddie Kingston situation, as this raised a lot of eyebrows. He says, in an injury update, sources have informed me that Eddie Kingston is projecting that he will be ready to compete again around mid-May or early June, and that he will be seriously evaluating his future in the pro wrestling business as this time, as he is currently thinking about retirement because he does not feel he fits the current landscape of pro wrestling. It was also noted that it is not necessarily a problem with AEW. It's more of a problem of
Yeah.
the landscape of pro wrestling. So, uh, I, I love Eddie Kingston. If you talk about him, if you talk about, just his character as a whole, the last form of Eddie Kingston that we seen, I can completely understand why he doesn't feel like he fits, because I'll say, Eddie Kingston from early AEW, I think easily fits in any mid card. That
Oh yeah.
last, like, Japan wannabe Eddie Kingston that we seen, that All Japan Mark Eddie Kingston, where, he was wearing the long pants and he was doing his pancake chops and just looked like a complete goof. And that Eddie Kingston was, I don't know what the hell happened there, but that Eddie Kingston was fucking horrible. That Eddie Kingston was absolutely horrible, man. You know, I would like to see him return to more of that hardcore kind of like death match Eddie Kingston that we remember seeing from early AEW. Again, I think he's a solid mid carder, and I think he fits into any mid card division in pro wrestling. You can easily slot him into any division, really. But I will say, man, if he comes back as what he was before, then that's not gonna go good, and he's gonna fall right on his fucking face, man. Do you remember in early AEW when there was an Eddie Kingston that was passionate, and he was
Hmm.
always cutting these just raw New Yorker style promos, and he had a passion for holding gold and for holding the world's championship one day, and all that. That's the Eddie Kingston I miss, man. This Eddie Kingston that we just seen in that last Continental title run, that's a hard fucking no for me, man. I'm sorry.
Most definitely, man. Last, like you said, the last time we saw him with that whole, New Japan soldier, super, match quality guy, even though they weren't that high quality.
No.
That just didn't work for me. That gimmick with his style just did not work for me. But like you said, dude, early, run Eddie Kingston, man, that shit was great. I loved it, man. He was so legit and real in that like brawler deathmatch version of him. That goes hard, man. He could definitely be one of those mid cutters that has those occasional feuds with the main event guys and whatnot, dude. That's a good character, and I really like that Eddie Kingston. I would like to see that Eddie Kingston back and mixing it up with people still, man. But like that Eddie Kingston versus Samoa Joe would go hard, but late, like you said, pancake pork chop fucking Eddie Kingston, man, that didn't work for me, man. But I really like Eddie, and I hope that he does come back because like I said, I like that, brawler, deathmatch character, just like you said, that's just that legit New Yorker. He talked, it was very raw, it was very real. I like that. I like that gimmick. I like that version of him. And I would like to see that version back. And I'd like to see that version back on TV. So I think there is a place for him in wrestling. I just don't think it's, the last time we saw him, that version of it around. But overall, I like Eddie Kingston. I hope he does come back, and I just hope he comes back as that, just brawling deathmatch New Yorker character that he had beforehand, because I've really felt like more of him.
100%, man. 100% agree with that. And yes, you say it felt more like him, and I think that was the biggest problem with that whole, New Japan, or All Japan character that he was trying to play. It felt like he was trying to be somebody he's not, and that, like you said, he was trying to put on these high quality matches, and a lot of them weren't high quality. He might have had a couple in
Yeah.
there, that were pretty good, man, but from what I can remember, but most of the time. I mean, who cared, you know? Um, so Belle says she says, "Can I just say, I have a theory that Kenny only stays around so he could do New Japan." I will probably go ahead and get on board with you on that. I will,
Oh, I think so.
because dude, if you if you look at how he is in New Japan versus how he is in AEW, it's two different guys. It's not even it's honestly not even the same dude. You look at him in New Japan versus watching him in AEW, man. It is he still does good work in AEW, but there's just no life in him. You just
No,
it's
it's
just
just not him.
yeah, but dude, in New Japan, he looks like he's just out there having a fucking blast, dude. It really does.
Mhm. Oh yeah.
Well, moving on to more AEW news. Speedball Mike Bailey made his AEW debut last night and has officially signed with the company. It was reported back in November, following his departure from TNA, that he would be joining AEW. As here is the official here is the official Here's the official All Elite graphic for Speedball Mike Bailey. As like I said, he did debut this past Wednesday on Dynamite, feuding with or having a match rather with the Beast Morton. As he's really good, and he had a really good match, man. I just hope AEW uses the guy, but if history has taught us anything, is that he will probably be lost in the shuffle within the next month. So
Oh,
he's really good. He's very entertaining to watch. I love his style. I think he's great in the ring. And again, I just hope he doesn't make me wish even further that he went to NXT because of lack of use. But again, if history has taught us anything with AEW and their signings, is that they don't really they don't really strike. What's I can't even say when the iron's hot. They don't even strike at all with their new signings, man. So I'm happy to see him in AEW, and I really, really hope he does good because he's really good. But we'll just have to wait and see, man.
most definitely. We'll have to wait and see. I like him. He's fast. He's athletic. He's cool. I like his little, karate, gimmick style. I like it. I think it's really good, and I feel like NXT would have really been the place for him, but he went to AEW, and I just hope they use Speedball well. I hope they use him consistently, and at this point with signings like this, man, all you could do is sit there and hope they get used well, man, and that's what I hope for Speedball. I hope they use them, and I hope they use them consistently, man. But who knows? It's AEW. For all we know, he'll be a collision cowboy, hang in a month or two, and we'll never see him again, man. But I hope they use Speedball well. I really hope they do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that is AEW's latest signing. As again, hopefully this does not turn into another guy that we are wondering, where is he? Where is he? Where is Speedball? Where is Speedball? And he's on, you know, Collision doing fucking the Lord's work. Or or
Literally.
anything
But
or
yeah.
anything but that. Yeah. So well, he might be doing the Lord's work to Tony Khan, man, but to us, we don't care because it's just fucking matches. And that is honestly one of the reasons I wish he went to NXT, man, is because a lot of things I hear from Mike Bailey is he's a great match. He has no character. I think he went
Hmm.
to NXT. I think they help him craft something to build a brand behind rather than just having good matches. But again, when you talk about free agents, um, he is one of the very best in the ring, and I hate and I just hate to see talent go to waste, and I just really hope he gets something about himself that really makes him shine in AEW, man, and I really hope he just does something that help him connect with the audience. Because again, we just talked about this with Ricochet. Ricochet could have very well have went the option of being the match guy, and guess what? He would have been on Collision doing fuck all. And he got a character about himself, and he actually made a connection with the audience, whether it's positive or negative. He made a connection with the audience. People fucking hate him. You know what I mean? People
Hmm.
people hate Ricochet, and he's doing a great job. And again, I gotta respect the fact that he could have just been, watch how athletic I am, look at me do all these moves. No, he actually got a character about himself, and that I can respect. Hopefully, Speedball follows that same kind of sentiment. So, yeah.
Hopefully, man. I really hope so.
And that is actually all the AEW news here today for you guys, man, as we have an official word from our people over there at W Energy, man. W Energy, the official sponsor of what we do here at NHP, man. W Energy is an energy drink loaded with vitamins and nootropics formulated to improve focus without getting the jitters. W Energy is a clean energy formula that is sugar-free, zero-calorie, free from fillers and artificial colorings, with 150 milligrams of caffeine per serving. You can now get your W Energy products today with the link below and code NHP at checkout to save yourselves 10%. As always, the official sponsor of the Notorious podcast, W Energy. Thank you guys very much, as always.
Truly, I just got to shout out Dubby, man. Whether you got to stay up for work, a workout, dynamite, that Revolution main event, man. Either or, try Dubby. It'll have you energized. You won't get the jitters, and it'll taste good all at the same time.
Well, going back to Christian Cage, maybe if he would have took some W energy, he wouldn't have fucking passed out and wasted his
Literally.
contract. So
Literally.
there you have it. On to WWE. Huh? Where do we start?
Yeah. Mm,
Well,
well,
what do you think, bro? What do you think? I'll leave it up to you.
maybe we start with a certain set of people that were teased, or at least one of them that was teased as of like an hour and a half ago.
All right. Okay. Well, kind of starting with all that. Well, I guess sort of now it's a conflicting report. But
And it literally,
according to WrestleVotes, on the Backstage Pass, a deal between Rey Fenix and WWE has either been agreed to in principle or is on the verge of completion. WWE is planning on presenting Rey Fenix and Penta as the Lucha Brothers. Well,
well,
WrestleVotes, they
they might have
aired
been wrong.
vignettes on SmackDown tonight, and as you can see, I got the pictures queued up here for you guys. As you can see, man, here are the pictures from SmackDown tonight as they aired a vignette of a mysterious luchador. No, it is not Chad Gable. As you can clearly see, as the photo on top is a photo of and you can kind of see the mask, and you can see the tassels, and that is very evident that that is Rey Fenix. But if you are still in denial, you can look at the photo on the bottom, and that is very clearly Rey Fenix's back tattoo. As it
Hmm.
looks like Rey Fenix is going to SmackDown as a singles. Wow.
I'm excited, dude.
WWE actually did it, bro.
Very actually, because a lot of people were saying, man, that event is really dope, man. I would love to see him, I would love to see Phoenix get the same treatment over on the other brand, man. And I don't think they were gonna plan that, but it looks like they might decide to go ahead and do that, man. And I think that's the right choice, and that's just very exciting to me.
That is incredibly exciting to me. And I think somebody is listening to your boys over here at NHP, because we have been saying for a very long time, just like Turkey said, everybody's like, man, Penta's so sick. He's so sick. He's actually thriving in the mid-card scene over on Monday Night Raw right now. So why not give that same love to Phoenix on SmackDown? Because Lord fucking knows that show needs it. Also,
Hmm.
it broke as we were live, as you guys could hear in the intro, but there also was more vignettes that was black background with some smoke coming up, and the number 4 popped up, which a lot of people is leading them to believe that could possibly be the impending debut on SmackDown for one Aleister Black. My question is, how much longer till we're getting some Bulgarian themed um
Mm, very, very
vignettes?
interesting. I wouldn't be shocked if it's gonna be long at all, man, but very interesting. The 4 is really fucking really just throwing me off, man. That 4 can literally mean anything. But this looks exciting, man. I'm very excited that Ray Phoenix looks to be starting on his own on a separate brand in WWE. That's very exciting, and I hope they go through with that.
Yes, absolutely, man. Again, I'm gonna go ahead and say it means 4 years of shit creative in AEW. So I think
Yeah,
that's what it means.
it really was.
And
It's been
uh,
4 years. Hell.
so that is again, that is what everybody looks to be, or that is what everybody is looking toward, to think that it could be Rey Fenix and Aleister Black being teased on SmackDown. A lot of people were theorizing that, obviously we've seen on Monday night Chad Gable attack Rey Mysterio in a lucha mask. he then ran through the crowd or whatever. Then there was a backstage segment where somebody else was wearing the mask, and Gable was like, look, I'm innocent. Everybody was like, oh my God, could this been Rey Fenix? I seen everybody trying to match up the chins. First of all, Rey Fenix
No.
does not have Chad Gable's tone of voice. You could literally hear, he spoke. He didn't say thank
Yeah.
you, but he said gracias, right? And you could tell it's Chad Gable's voice.
Oh yeah.
You would have seen hand tattoos if this was Rey Fenix. I mean, come on, people. Well, it looks like that was not Rey Fenix. Go figure, because according to the U.S. Patent Trademark Office, WWE has filed to trademark Grande Americano.
Starbucks drink.
Yeah. A grande is I don't know what size it is. I would have to ask the missus, but let's see.
I have no clue. Is that it's either the largest or the second to largest, I think.
Let's see. So, in English,
Uh,
that means large American.
wow. And that definitely fits Ray Phoenix, people. Quite literally the two opposite things he is.
Look, man, like I said on Monday, it's Gable. He's gonna make it work. He's gonna make it entertaining, and it's probably gonna be, something fun for him to do as he feuds with the Luchadors and probably builds to something with the Luchadors at Mania. God, I just wish WWE would put some titles on him. But according to some people, man, there's only 15 people that want to see Chad Gable be pushed. So,
Good Lord, man. I guess I'm all 15 of them because I've been wanting to see it.
I've been
But
wanting to see it for a very long time, yeah.
years, literal years since American Alpha got called up, man. So there's that. But they trademarked,
Man.
that shit, and I just really hope it doesn't last too long with this, Chad Gable luchador mask thing. I hope it's short, man, because he deserves so much better.
He absolutely does. This guy should have one IC title under his belt and be looking towards Minneapolis next year for SummerSlam to win a world title in his
Oh, literally.
hometown, man. So, yeah, I mean, again, it's Gable. He's gonna make it work. He's gonna be I would not be shocked if Chad Gable wrestles a lucha style flawlessly, because he's that fucking good.
Oh yeah, he will.
But the only good thing that this does for Chad Gable, to be honest, well, other than probably getting him on the Mania card, is further proving that this guy is the next coming of Kurt Angle with the amount of comedy and seriousness he can play. That's
1,000%, dude.
This guy is fucking Kurt Angle's son. Why
Really
are we not
dude.
using him, bro? He's so fucking good. He can easily be up there fighting Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship. Again, maybe not winning, but a Chad Gable and Cody Rhodes WWE title program is absolutely fucking believable for me.
Yeah, that's legit as fuck, man. I would love that.
That would be a great program. Chad Gable versus Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight Championship as a program. That is obviously more than Chad Gable. Again, I love Jey. To me, Chad Gable's more believable than Jey.
Oh yeah.
But he's so good. And again, I just want to stress, he's going to make it work. And he's probably going to be a fucking phenomenal luchador because he's so fucking good. But goddamn, I just wish this guy was in a main eventer. I really do.
I really wish he was, dude.
That whole upper mid-card main event scene, they got fucking mid-card priest hanging out in. That's where Chad Gable should be hanging out, bro.
Oh, 1,000%, man.
But yeah, I mean, goddamn, poor Gable.
I'm telling you.
Well, from poor Gable to poor U.S. watchers of SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to SmackDown, obviously. Friday Night SmackDown will be in Europe for the next 3 weeks with Barcelona, Spain on March 14th, today. Bologna, Italy on March 21st, and London, UK on March 28th. To all US watchers, SmackDown will be streaming on the USA Network at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Pacific, and the show will be taped. However, to all international people, SmackDown will be airing live on Netflix.
Dude, just air it live. What is the point? Dude, tape shows not only do worse, but they are worse in general. They do worse and they are worse. Just put them live. People will watch. American audiences do watch those changed time frames, dude. I don't understand.
Dude, we're going to have to deal with this shit until 2029, bro. They signed a 5-year
oh no.
deal in 2024, so this will be up in September of 29.
So fucking annoying, dude. I just I hate that. I hate that shit.
Horrible, dude. They should at least, I understand they're signed with USA Network for that long. They should at least, for the international episodes, make an exception and throw this shit up on Netflix for the US watchers, because this sucks, okay? Now, again, I know to you guys in Europe, you guys are probably saying, dude, shut up, right? We had to deal with this shit for the longest. We had to wake up at 7 a.m. I get it, and I'm sorry, and I really sympathize for you guys. That you guys had to do that and wake up at all types of weird times and shit. But goddamn, it doesn't make it any less annoying. I just want to watch a live SmackDown in the UK, in Barcelona, in Bologna. Goddamn, dude. It sucks for US watchers, dude. It really does. I can't lie.
Yeah, it really does, dude. Tape shows are just so annoying. And it's so much better to watch them live, dude. I don't understand why they aren't live for us, because the live pay-per-views with the different time slots, they definitely work. You guys know that. So I just don't understand this, dude. I really don't, and I hope that policy eventually gets changed.
Me too, man. As Bell refuses to cut us some slack. You know what? I'm not surprised.
Even with, well, even for Americans, AEW pay-per-view times suck. I gotta tell you that, man. They fixed it like 12 every time is just horrendous and evil.
Yeah, it is. It's horrible, dude. It's fucking horrible, man. The show starts at 7 o'clock and it doesn't end till like fucking the next day. It doesn't end till like 12:30 a.m. Like, bro, what is going on? Yeah, so yeah, that is that. That is that. So you guys are gonna be living it up for the next 3 weeks, and then you guys are back to reality. So unfortunately for us, we're gonna have to deal with SmackDown spoilers for the next 3 weeks. But it seems like they're doing some cool stuff there, man, and I cannot wait to see it. I just hate a tape show. It is just
Man, they're
horrendous.
so annoying. They really are, dude.
All right, let's switch over here to... Actually, let's talk about this WWE ID stuff. So, Uncle Dave, he was called out... Uncle Dave, bro. He was...
You never get it right.
He was called out again for the WWE ID program. So, he goes on to say... Within WWE ID talent, the deal, according to the contract, is Gabe Sapolsky puts their matches together and gives the script to the promoter who has booked them. The promoter pays the talent and can push that talent that comes from WWE. WWE covers travel costs with a stipend, and the promoter pays the difference if the travel costs any longer than the stipend. Well, unfortunately, for like the for like the
Oh
20th time
Lord.
this year. Uncle
Mm-hmm.
Dave was called out by Brett Lauderdale of GCW. He says, my experience with WWE ID. Number one, Gabe does not put the matches together. Number two, I've never heard or seen a script. Number three, we are allowed to push WWE ID talent on announcements, but we don't. And number four, we are not aware of any travel stipend or any travel share, but that would be cool. Did you fucking hear the story of Dave Meltzer trying to say that there's like some in AEW that think Adam Copeland's a WWE spy?
WWE spy. Dude, that man is a spy for his ego. That's all Adam Copeland is. He don't care about a company. He don't care about a logo for that man cares about him and him, and that's it,
Dude,
bruh.
he literally left WWE because they weren't using him enough.
Yeah. He's an egomaniac, dude. He wants to be used. That's why he went to AEW, because he knew he would be used up the ass and be able to fucking have creative control and shit.
Yes, he reports an anonymous
Why?
AEW executive reportedly believes Adam Copeland and another former WWE and other former WWE veterans are spies sent to undermine AEW from within, claiming claiming their presence is a part of a longer plan to kill the company. Well, I
Next
could definitely
question.
say they're succeeding at that, but I don't think that's their plan. I think they just want
Yeah.
to get some wins under their belt.
Get some wins, make everyone else look bad. You know, the classic veteran coming in, and if anyone is doing that job of sabotaging AEW, it's their owner, founder, CEO, head of creative, the whole thing he writes down, Tony Khan. That's there. That's good lord.
Oh God, Uncle Dave, bro, Uncle Dave, that man.
It-
You know, we we gotta cut Uncle Dave some slack, bro. I know he's officially a senior citizen now. I think he's like 65. Something's got to be going on, dude, because there is just no
oh,
fucking way.
Adam Copeland doesn't even care about his own best friend getting
He's
fucking wins and shit,
he
let
sent
alone another company.
like, he sent his best friend out there to lose his contract, bro.
Literally, it's as if KO just goes to Sami Zayn and like, hey, bruh, I'm about to lose this match. I know you got the money in the briefcase, bruh, but I can't take this pin. You're gonna have to do it for me. All right, thanks, bruh. What? Like,
Well, poor Uncle Dave. He was he he was called out. He was called out again. This time by Brett Lauderdale for putting out just the most random.
trying to make the ID program look horrible and look like
Dude,
WWE are trying to take over. Like, dude, none of that is. They just have like this WWE contract behind them, and that's it.
it's
That's
it,
all it is.
it's like it's
It's hey,
FCW but with like freedom in their contracts where they can go work indies basically.
it's like, hey, we like you. Well, we're gonna help train you and shit because we want to keep you in the future. But you know, you gotta work, you gotta do this. So go do
Yeah.
indies, and then when you're done, come to us. That's literally all it is. Literally.
Well, not to Uncle Dave, man. Uncle Dave has
No,
other ideas.
good lord,
Meltzer is on an absolutely legendary run right now. I'm sorry.
he
I
is, dude.
he this
Who is his source, bro? I know in journalism, yeah, it's the worst thing you could ever do is reveal your sources, dude. Please, they ain't working out for you, bro. Let us see them sources. Who is
it,
getting paid to lie to you, bro?
it it's
Is it
it's
who
got to
is
be
it?
Tony Schiavone, bro. It's fucking got to be.
I,
That man makes up
who
so much
knows?
shit on commentary. You can't tell me that he didn't say some goof ass shit like that, bro. You just can't.
I wouldn't be shocked.
Man, Tony, man, the yeah, it's got
But
to be. It's got to be the paid show, man. It's got to be the paid show. But yes, apparently Adam Copeland and the WWE veterans are spies.
fucking spy. Remember the very start of AEW when everybody thought John Moxley was a spy, and he
Yes.
ended up we learned that he fucking hated working for WWE. Like, bro, come on.
I do remember that. Yeah. Well, huh. So, next, actually, from the Observer, we have an update on the Jade Cargill and Shayna Baszler drama situation. So, it is now being reported the heat on Jade Cargill was the claim, or the heat on Jade Cargill was the claim by other women in WWE that, was that there were problems, when there were problems in the ring, she would blame the other person and was disrespectful. A specific confrontation was Cargill pointing to a bruise on her arm and telling Shayna Baszler she needed to learn how to work. And Baszler responded by saying, if I was shooting, we would both know. Later, when Cargill blamed others for problems in matches, Baszler came up to her and confronted her. This was not a one-person deal, but Baszler did go talk to her about it, which didn't make it better. And Cargill got in Baszler's face, according to one person right there, and said Baszler clearly was not backing down. I love Shayna Baszler, bro. This is fucking hilarious, bro.
How would you try that with an MMA fighter, bro?
Shayna, bro.
She would piece her up.
Other talent saw it and diffused it alongside management, and got away, and got them away from each other. Baszler was called to work with the production people on the key spots they were doing in her television match that night. Nothing else happened significant after that. You see, from what I'm hearing, man, Shayna Baszler was called in a production meeting to go over the spots. And from what I'm also hearing, you mean to tell me management diffused the situation?
No way. They're supposed to sit in an interview while the stuff's happening and not do anything and get told by Chris Jericho.
Hey, Jade Cargill was probably ready to square up because this was probably her life. She probably just thought this is what you do. Well, I guess this is the part of the argument where we both tape our fucking hands and go to work. And then people probably started diffusing it, and she was like, "Wait, what are you guys doing? I thought this is the part where we fight. This is the part where I go in the locker room and then Shayna barges in on me. What's going on?" The more and more we hear about this situation, man, I mean, what was Jade Cargill thinking, bro? Problems go wrong in a match. I could see her being frustrated. I get that. You know, she's, you know, if you are, you know, something of a perfectionist or care about your work, you're going to be upset when things go wrong. That's a good thing. That means you care. But to blame the other person, really?
I mean, you fucked up.
Yeah, and pointing at a bruise on your arm and telling Shayna she doesn't know how to work because of a bruise? Seriously? Did you not? Did any of you guys see Liv Morgan's arm after that chamber match? Did you see how many bumps and bruises she had on her arm? You think she was there saying, okay, fucking Bianca, she doesn't know how to work?
You think she looked at the fucking line on her stomach from the hair whip and was like, "Damn, Bianca, you don't know how to work, homie. You're wrestling.
I mean, give me a break. I don't understand that now one bit, man. I don't understand that now one bit. And props to Shayna Baszler, man, because people in that locker room do probably fear Jade Cargill because of how much the company loves her and is pushing her. So for Shayna Baszler to stand up for what was right, at least from what we're hearing, in this story, to stand up for at least what she felt was right is a good thing. Because again, I'm sure there's a lot of people that try to distance themselves from Jade because they don't want to get in hot water because of how much the company loves her. But at the end of the day, you can't sit there and tell somebody they don't know how to work and you're greener than grass yourself. So I,
Exactly. And Shayna Baszler is just the wildest person to have this beef with, because not only can she piece you up like nothing, but like Shayna Baszler is the definition of someone who came from outside of wrestling and truly worked their ass off to be good and be respected in the business. She wanted to wrestle, and she went to the Indies and trained and learned, went to NXT, went through NXT, went up to the main roster, worked the dude, she went through it all. You
yeah,
cannot tell that woman that she does not know how to work. She went through the ringer in the business, so she can work, bro. Like I said back on Monday, that was literally the crux of her and Ronda's feud. You
yep,
got everything instantly. I worked for it. You're gonna start a beef with her about shit like that. And and Shayna is the toughest person in the world, because that line of "if I was shooting, we'd both know about it." Come on, bro. That's
push
tough as
Shayna,
hell.
bro,
Give her a mic,
push
bro.
Shayna. What the
Give
fuck,
her
dude?
a microphone, bro. That was just off an argument in the moment, bro. Give that woman a microphone. Push her. But it's a situation that happens, people get frustrated. Sometimes you get people that don't blame themselves and blame others, and that starts an argument. That happens, bro. And look at that. Management stepped in, cooled down everything. Everybody's chill now. Look at
Yep.
management doing the job of management and managing problems i- in your company, man. I wish I would get that on Dynamite. I wish I would get that, in unfun places in my life. For certain places that you could call work. Um, but look at that, man. You got beefs. Management actually squashes them. Look at that.
Yeah. Again, if Jade Cargill, wanted to go up to Ronda Rousey and say that, you're partially stupid because it's Ronda fucking Rousey. She's
Beat
also
you up
gonna
too.
piece you in half. But at least, at least Ronda kind of, I guess, came in very prematurely and had the worst regression that I've probably ever seen in a talent crossover ever. She did not get
Most
better. In
definitely.
fact, she got worse. But yeah, to say that to Shayna fucking Baszler clearly tells me you don't study on the business, or you don't know the business, or you don't really know who's in your locker room. Because again, Shayna Baszler is very seasoned and Shayna Baszler can work her ass off, bro. So again, right there, that tells me you came into wrestling with absolutely no fucking seasoning and still have no seasoning. So I've never really been the biggest fan of Jade, and hearing stuff like that is just like, seriously. Like again, I, I
Crazy.
I get she has the look and all the makings of a star, but if you're gonna be a
Unbelievable.
star, you're gonna have to eventually at some point have some sort of respect for the business. So and again, saying that to somebody who's a veteran in the business, I mean, the only other person that's worse you could probably say that to is fucking Natalia, telling her she can't.
Literally.
I mean, you don't say shit like that to seasoned people in the business, bro, or Trish Stratus or something like that. I mean, seriously,
You go tell Brian Danielson, yeah, man. Who are you, bro? You don't know how to work. What?
come
I'm
on,
gonna tell
dude.
Chad Gable that. Like, what? You don't know how to work.
It's like,
Homie, that will work,
man,
man.
that's like going up to, or the only other person you could probably say that to that's worse is fucking Asuka. Man,
Yeah.
you're kicking me real hard, man. You don't know how to fucking work. Really?
Like, she will literally kick your head off, and it'll look great.
Yes. What does Shayna say? Crack, tap, or snap?
All
Yes.
three.
Um. Well, if I was shooting, we would both know. Damn. Tough,
That
bro.
is crazy. Tough as hell.
So that's the update on the Jade Cargill situation. Again, not really ever been the biggest fan of Jade. Again, she has a great look, but everything in between that, it's a pump kick and a jaded. That's it for
That's
me.
all it is.
But I understand, I understand why people would like her, or I understand why the company likes her. Again, she has a great look, and she's marketable as shit. She looks like a superhero. But
Yeah.
again, you continue to just prove a lot of arrogance here, and
Yeah.
it just I don't know. I could see why she rubs people the wrong way. Definitely.
I definitely can. Mm-hmm.
So, speaking of staying on topic of the women and the women's division in WWE, Julia. Why did Julia lose the NXT championship this past Tuesday at Roadblock, which I actually watched because I had nothing better to do. So I was like, oh, fuck it. It's Tuesday night. Roadblock's about to come on. Let me turn on Roadblock.
Like that.
It was all right. It was all right. It's it's NXT. It's nothing really too off though. Actually, I will have to say though, the Hardy Boys versus Fraxium. Goddamn,
Crazy.
that was really good.
Insane.
That was really good. Jeff is indeed still doing it. But anyways,
He is, bro.
so the former Stardom star Julia dropped her NXT Women's Championship to Stephanie Vaquer at NXT Roadblock in their title versus title match. Julia was defeated following 3 SSB backbreakers from Vaquer. After 11 minutes, the loss ended Julia's title reign after just 63 days after she won the title from Roxanne Perez at New Year's Evil. It was reported heading into the match that Julia was dealing with an injury, and that she would need to take some time off. Brian Alvarez noted on The Observer that Julia was booked to lose the NXT Women's Championship because she is also dealing with a minor visa issue. He says, Julia, there are 2 things going on. There is some minor, I was told, a visa issue, and there is also an injury which is listed internally as undisclosed, said Alvarez. Julia joined WWE in 2024, making her debut at NXT No Mercy in September, and she previously had been a top star in Stardom before jumping over to the brand. So it looks like Julia. It looks like yes, it was absolutely better than Dynamite this week
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
It was.
Um,
Oh yeah. What isn't? It's not really. It's like waking up in the morning, man. You're just gonna do it. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, it's a fucking chore. But so it looks like Julia is dealing with some minor visa issues and some injury issues. Do you think that they had her take the championship off, or did they have her drop the championship to Vaquer? Because do you think they want to maybe heal up those minor injuries and obviously take time for the minor visa issues so she can be ready for the main roster? Do you project that they call her up after WrestleMania, or at least after her injury is good? Or do you think she comes back to NXT?
I think there's definitely still a chance she could come back to NXT. I wouldn't be shocked with the way Sean likes to keep people. Um, but overall, I think with the decision to take all the titles off her, seems like they're just gonna let her heal up from, the little stuff she has, deal with the visa issues, so she'll be ready to go and ready to go for a while. Um, to me, that screams call up, and I think that's what we'll get as to, the brand and what she'll be doing. I don't know, maybe SmackDown more than likely, but not too sure on the where and when, but I think she will be getting called up. This type of thing is usually screams call up to me. I think that's what we'll be getting, and that's just very exciting to me, man. But there is a chance she could stay down there. I wouldn't be shocked with the way Sean operates, like I said. But overall, I think we'll see her on the main roster, man. But what about you? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Sean does have a thing where it is very hard for him to let people go. Honestly, man, you know, do I think maybe, I feel like if they do keep her in NXT, it is for the sole reason that they want her to just continue to brush up on her English, and continue to
Hmm.
learn her English. So I could see that being a factor in that. But in terms of in terms of, I mean, she dropped the NXT Women's Championship, so that's kind of the pinnacle for a woman superstar in NXT. Obviously, is the NXT Women's
Yeah,
Championship. So but again, Sean is no stranger to having people drop it and stay in NXT and maybe getting a second reign. As to when Triple H ran NXT, when you dropped your championship, it was basically a
that was it.
foregone conclusion you were going up. There was hardly two-time champions in NXT, just because
Very rarely.
yeah, just because, like I said, once you drop that belt, you were going up. That's how that worked. But honestly, man, I would love to see her on the main roster, but I just got a gut feeling Sean's going to keep her around.
I wouldn't be shocked.
So, yeah, that is that. So, it remains to be seen whether we see Julia after WrestleMania or not. And actually, speaking of WrestleMania, according to WrestleVotes on the Backstage Pass, WWE have discussed the idea of running a post-WrestleMania event in Las Vegas, Nevada on Sunday, April 20th. The idea of the event would be the Roast of WrestleMania, featuring comedian Tony Hinchcliffe. To
Hmm.
anybody that's interested in that type of thing, I'm curious to know if that interests you. Obviously, I don't think I would be
Hmm.
interested in that kind of thing. So this probably I'm definitely not the target market for this. But if this does interest any of you guys, man, this is something WWE's going to do. So I'm interested to see what that might be if they do end up going through with it.
Very curious. Not something like you said, not something really for me. I just looked them up and I don't even recognize them, so I really probably wouldn't be watching that, man. But I'm sure a decent amount of people would enjoy that. So
Yeah,
if they want to try it, they could go ahead and try it and gauge the success of that. So personally, not really a thing I would be into, but overall, why not try it if that's their
for sure.
plan?
For sure, man. So moving on, actually, well, keeping up with the theme of WrestleMania. Going into WrestleMania, one of the biggest acts going on right now is The Rock and John Cena.
God, this
Well,
shit.
dude, according to WrestleVotes on the Backstage Pass, the pairing of The Rock and John Cena will have strong promotion heading towards WrestleMania, obviously. One idea is to label the duo as The Rock and Soul Connection.
It's just The Rock. Okay.
Well, I mean, I guess the soul part would be because of he took his
Jeez.
soul, but that is
Oh, his name is still John Cena. He's still
yeah,
John Cena, the
uh,
massive entity and
uh,
name value.
yeah. What? Why is John Cena not even? Why is his likeness not even a part of the name? Like he's some fucking mid carder in the group.
Li- Dude, I saw that story and I clicked on it. I'm like guessing like, oh, what are they going to call like the Soul Man or some shit like that? And it's The Rock and Soul, bro. What? It's just The Rock at that point, dude. And I'm so glad this got debunked, bro, because that is a horrible, horrible name.
Yeah, I mean this shit floating around, this shit floating around, man, was man, I again, dude, I seen this and I'm like way to well, I guess way to rip off the Rock and Sock connection with something that is just completely, I mean, what is that? That
Oh, what?
that is a Rock made up name if I've ever heard one. I just know he said that to himself and was like the Rock and the soul.
The Rock and the Soul connection. Fuck yeah, I like that. With Rock, Cena. Cena, we're doing that shit.
So that is that, and thankfully, uh, thankfully that will not be the name of that, because again, way too completely undermined the other guy in the group that is you know,
John
no no
Cena.
no big name at all, just John Cena, you know. No.
Not
Nice.
name drop John Cena. Bro, what? It's still his need. He sold his soul, not his fucking license IP. What the hell, man? Is that what the deal was? When selling your soul, he also sold his trademark fucking rights to The Rock?
It
That's
might
what
have
I'm
been, man.
hearing.
He might have sold his IP to The Rock, his likeness.
Fucking A, dude. I'm so glad fucking Brian Gerst or whatever his fucking name
Brian
is on
Gers.
Twitter and debunks this shit, man. Or Hurst, whatever it
Brian
is.
Gewirtz.
Gort. There it
Brian
was. That was
Hurst.
close enough. That was Brian. That was close enough.
Surprised you didn't call him Byron.
And I'm not The Rock. All right.
Brian Saxton running the press running the press conferences.
Been
Well,
for like 14 years.
fuck, man. He's probably met him so many times too, and he's
Lit-
good God. So so moving over here to the I guess more current talent and actually some injury news. Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed was spotted 3 days ago on Tuesday in Birmingham, Alabama. Reed was likely in town to get his latest prognosis and timeline on returning to the ring after getting surgery there on his foot and ankle in early December. We heard a long time ago that he was projected towards May or June, and hopefully that process is getting sped up, because he is a guy that, for the love of God, I miss so much on Monday Night Raw, man. I miss Bronson Reed. Man, I miss Bronson Reed, dude. He was such a good act, and I cannot wait for him to
Uh,
get back into the fold.
I really can't wait. I'm very excited to see him come back. He's a phenomenal act, dude, and I'm very excited. And this makes sense. I remember I think it was on it was either on Chamber Day or back on Raw. This week's Raw
Mm-hmm.
Day. He posted a picture of himself on a plane. And you can only assume with that stuff. So I'm very excited, and I cannot wait for his return, man. I love Bronson Reed, and I cannot wait to see him back.
Me neither, bro. Me neither. Yeah, so excited for that. And speaking of Bronson Reed and a couple other guys, according to WWE's roster page, WWE has dropped the big from Bronson Reed, the dirty from Dominic Mysterio, and the freakin' from Seth Rollins.
Thank
As
God.
I'll let Sir K have the floor with this, man. I know he was pretty upset about this. He's really upset about the Seth Rollins one. I know that for a fact. How
Oh yeah.
they're he's not going to be on the official poster as Seth freaking Rollins anymore. How are you feeling
Thank
about these name shortenings, or these nickname not name shortenings, but taking their nicknames out of their names?
Thank God, dude. I mean, it's a nickname for a reason. It doesn't say on my fucking passport, on my ID, Sir K. You know what I mean? Like that. It's just not who you are, man. And Seth freaking Rollins was the worst one,
It's
dude.
the best one.
Big Bronson Reed was little, again, why is that in his name? But okay. Dirty Dom was really the only one that kind of made the most sense. But at the end of the day, with all these names, you could still just call him that.
Yeah.
I don't need it in the nameplate. I don't need it on the poster. I don't need it in the system, on the fucking website where it says, your heavyweight champion is Seth freaking Rollins. I don't need that, man. I don't need that. So very excited, very happy. I think this is just makes everything look better, and I like that system, man. I'm glad they took the nicknames, out of their actual names, and I wish this word would get to Adam Copeland, man, because
Uh,
dude, if I have to read the rated R superstar Cope one more time, I'm gonna lose my goddamn mind, and we're not gonna have to look at it next week, man. But overall, very happy with this news, and I think it's just a good decision all around, man. But what about you? What do you think about this?
Yeah, I think this is great, man. Again, there is no reason, for again, and I was gonna bring up the Adam Copeland comparison. Was every time he comes out, we do not need, and they can announce him as the rated R superstar Adam Copeland to put it on his nameplate and for commentary to like constantly refer to him the rated R superstar Cope or the rated R superstar Adam Copeland. It's just like, what? Like, for a big event, like an All In or a Revolution, if he comes out and you want to announce him as the rated R superstar, Cope or Adam Copeland or whatever, that's one thing, man. But again, for every week on Dynamite, rated R superstar Cope or rated R's fucking superstar Adam Copeland, it's just like, it's so much. And again, Seth talked about this back in 2022 when they initially put freaking in his name is commentary. Every single time would not refer to him as Seth. They would not refer to him as Rollins. They would not refer to him as Seth Rollins. They would always simply refer to him as Seth freaking Rollins. Seth freaking Rollins with a stomp. Seth freaking Rollins coming off the top. Seth freaking Rollins. Like, dude, just call him Seth, call him Rollins, call him Seth Rollins. You do not have to fucking refer to him as Seth freaking Rollins every time. And again, for a WrestleMania, for your premium live events, if you want to announce him as Seth freaking Rollins, okay. But again, every week, it doesn't need to be. And same thing with Big Bronson Reed. Obviously, Seth freaking Rollins, freaking as a part of the name is just a little part of his name. It doesn't have to be his name. Same thing with Big Bronson Reed. It's just a part of his name, but it's not the name. Same with, people are still going to refer to, I'm sure commentary are still going to refer to him as Big Bronson because it's just his nickname, but that's not the name. And again, for pay-per-views or whatever, if you want to call him Big Bronson Reed, that's one thing, or Dirty Dominic Mysterio, that's one thing. But on commentary and every week on Monday for you to announce him, Dirty Dominic Mysterio, there's Dirty Dominic Mysterio, like,
Dude,
it is complete overkill on the nickname, man. But again, all these nicknames are great and I love them, but again, they do not have to be beaten into your brain every time you watch the programming of Big Bronson Reed, Dirty Dominic Mysterio, Seth freaking Rollins, rated R fucking superstar Adam Copeland. Like, Jesus.
Fucking superstar Adam Copeland. They should change it. If they change it to that, I'll take it.
I mean, I would take that too. That would be pretty hilarious. But yeah, man. I mean, I'm glad they dropped them as a part of their name, man, because
Glad.
you don't see oh, here's the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. He's the American Nightmare, but and again, it is announced, but commentary doesn't refer. Oh my God, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes with the Crossroads, or Mr. Hustle, Loyalty, Respect, John Cena with the Attitude Adjustment. Like, oh my God, here's the Second City Saint, CM Punk. Or like, here's the best in the world, CM Punk. Like, dude.
Oh man, Yeet Man with the super kick. Like,
yeah. Here comes the Yeet. Oh, Yeet Man, Jey Uso got the pinfall victory. Like, dude, you don't have to overkill it for everybody. And I'm glad they took 3 examples of this in WWE with Dom, Bronson, and Seth and took them away from him, man. So I'm glad for that. Man, as it's definitely a step in the right direction and just something that is overkill at the end of the day.
Most definitely.
Well, jumping over to more SmackDown news. I feel like we're talking about a lot about SmackDown today. It's probably the most we talked about the fucking SmackDown this whole year.
I'm telling you.
Shinsuke Nakamura. According to Fightful, despite the online speculation, there is reportedly no talk within WWE of Shinsuke Nakamura leaving the company, despite the rumors of WWE releasing him or What
I
was the
agree
other
with
rumor
you.
go? Yeah, they both mutually agreed to part ways at the end of his contract. Despite all that, there is no talk about Nakamura leaving the company, and WWE simply may have just, it could have been the case of the other rumor we heard that Nakamura and LA Knight was going to be the Mania match. And
You probably realized, oh my god, that's horrible.
yeah,
Let's just
and
fucking get this over with.
yeah, and apparently the ongoing rumor there was that Knight was Knight and Nakamura, they assessed the situation and seeing that there was no fan interest for a Mania match with Nakamura walking in as the US champion. How you feeling about
Hilarious.
this? Is there a part of you that maybe wishes that Nakamura's tenure with WWE was coming up? How are you feeling about this situation, and how are you feeling now that we know that Nakamura is not leaving WWE? And the $1 million question, what the hell do you do with Nakamura now?
Well, I don't think I'll be a millionaire because I don't think I can answer the $1 million question because I couldn't fucking tell you what you do with that man. Well, maybe, switch to babyface, build him up, do something cool like that, man. But I doubt they do that. But overall, I think I am glad to see him stay because if it was like 2018, 2019, even like 2020, I would have said, he could leave, he could go be successful elsewhere, whatnot. He still, he still got some time, he still got some momentum. But dude, the man has none, man. The man, like, I really don't know if going anywhere would really help him at this point. It could, because, that'd be a fresh sense of scenery overall, man. But a lot of places I don't think could use him properly. New Japan, that's an obvious one I think would obviously use him properly. But
Yeah,
from what we know, he moved his life over to America. So
yeah,
it'd be kind of pointless to go back over there. I don't think AEW would really use him all that properly, if I'm being honest. Early AEW, I think, really would. But this AEW, I don't think so. So overall, as bad of a run he's had in this company, I think it is best for him to stay there. And, you could slowly do a face turn and, build up, maybe one last baby face hoorah in the guy. But I can only think of so much, man. But overall, I think it is better for him to stay over there because I don't think he has many options outside of WWE that could work out that would fit, where his life's at now, man. And I don't think a lot of places would fit where his momentum is at now, man. So overall, I think it's a good decision for him to stay, and I think I am overall glad he is staying because he really would have fizzled out over there in AEW, man. But I truly wish the best, whatever this company might come up with him for, and I hope everything works out for this guy, man. I really hope it does. At the end of the day, he's great, and I hope everything works out, man. But what about you? Would you have liked him to leave? And, obviously from what we see, he isn't leaving, so what would you like for him to do in WWE next, man?
I absolutely would have liked for him to leave the company. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. He is, obviously he's 45 years old, so they could maybe sort of do some sort of babyface final run for him, man. But dude, even at that, his in-ring work has just been. I mean, man, if you look up the word washed up in the dictionary, I don't think there's anybody that fits that bill better than Shinsuke Nakamura. Now, in saying, I wouldn't have been upset if he would have left the company. Not saying he could have went to AEW, because obviously, that is just blasphemy. I wouldn't have liked to see. Honestly, man, I think at this point, a company like TNA, I think would even do better, best for Nakamura at this stage of the game, because one of my initial thoughts was, okay, well, maybe you could send him down for a stint in NXT, but he is so far past that, and we are just to the point where it is just point blank washed. He's washed up, man.
Mhm.
And I honestly don't even think there's there's really any money in doing anything with him at this point, man. I mean, um again, I mean, I just feel like even from a character, not even from a character standpoint, but just from an in-ring quality standpoint, man, his fucking matches have not been interesting since good
No.
lord, I don't know when. And I mean, maybe a fix, maybe a fix could be, turning him babyface so he can work a different style. Maybe that could be something there. But honestly, at that, man, I don't even know if I see that being something that is really going to be sustainable. I honestly just, I wholeheartedly just believe that the business has passed him by, and he's great, and he's a legend, and he'll always be a legend in wrestling, and in Japanese wrestling and NXT wrestling. He will always be a legend, man, but he's just fucking washed, bro. He's just washed up. He just does not have it anymore. And it partially doesn't even have to do with his age, because you see CM Punk, at
Mhm.
47 having matches of the night, but it is just the aura is gone. The work, the work is horrendous. I mean, it's just bad, man. And I honestly, and I hate saying that because he's one of my favorite NXT acts of all time, man. But he is just washed. And I honestly would have really liked to seen him leave the company. If he did want to do something else in the space of professional wrestling, I think that might have been the best option, because the aura in WWE and in that company is fucking gone. And I don't even know a babyface run could recover it at this point.
Literally. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt you, man. I really wouldn't doubt that.
So that's how I'm feeling about Nakamura. So yeah, I don't know. So it sucks to say, dude, but this US title reign, man, soured me out on him even more. Imagine that. Even more than I originally was. What do we call him, man? Washtamura. I don't think I've
Yeah,
ever seen
Nakamura.
Napamura. Dude, I it's insane to me. I don't think I've ever seen I don't think I've ever seen, at least up until this point, an NX and a black and gold NXT act this washed up. Because I mean, a lot of them are still, they're still doing it, bro. Like, you look at
Mhm.
NXT acts like Chad Gable. FTR is pretty washed up in my honest opinion. But not as washed up as Nakamura. I think it's just a
No.
momentum thing with them. I honestly think if you put FTR in WWE, they would fucking be stars.
Oh,
Again,
they
I
would go
think it's the
crazy again.
I think it's the whole Collision Cowboy thing. But you look at a lot of the older NXT acts that we see with Samoa Joe. Um, you look at guys like Finn, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. These guys are still, mobile in the ring. They can still put on good stuff, and they can still do good stuff. Nakamura, dude, wash the fuck up, man. I mean, it is
Mhm.
sad. I mean, that man has that man is a fucking fish that got washed up onto the shore, and the waves never came back to get him. So
No, I really didn't.
yeah, so unfortunately, sucks to say, but yeah, I think it's cooked for Nakamura, bro. Um Speaking of another SmackDown talent, in Drew McIntyre. According to the Observer, Drew McIntyre was moved to SmackDown originally for a world title program with Cody Rhodes, which we did report to you guys maybe about a month and a half ago, that Drew was being looked at to dethrone Cody Rhodes and all that good stuff. However, with Rhodes possibly losing to John Cena at WrestleMania, this could all fall apart. Now, I'm going to ask you more questions, because do you feel bad for Drew McIntyre here? And don't come on, man, don't spoil the audience here. I know a lot of people. This is probably an unpredictable answer. Do you feel bad for Drew McIntyre here, man? And what do you think about this all falling apart in front of Drew McIntyre's face, man? How are you feeling?
I really do feel bad for McIntyre,
God,
man. I mean, he had like a last career like 2 years dude, going hard, going great, phenomenal storytelling, phenomenal character work, insane, dude. And it builds everything up to a match with Damian Priest at WrestleMania, which itself, in my opinion, is a slap in the face, dude. But then, we all had the solace of, dude, okay, Cody's probably going to retain against whoever he faces. Drew, he's on SmackDown. He could win King of the Ring. He could face Cody. The rumored plan was he beats Cody for the title. Boom, bam, right there, man. Now, from all the evidence we get, dude, John Cena's winning that title from Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
So and I don't think Drew McIntyre is the one to defeat John Cena. I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it. I'm gonna tell you that, but I don't think that's the case. I think the one to defeat John Cena will end up being CM Punk, and I think is the best option. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind Drew though. Definitely wouldn't mind Drew, but I don't think that's the case. And now what does he do? He's stuck on a show for a title he won't end up winning again. He's stuck on another show for a title he won't end up winning. And he's just going to be delegated to acts like Damian Priest. And who's next? I mean, I'm sure you could have like a, they've had history from, a little stint they had right after Royal Rumble. So you could eventually do, an LA Knight feud. And it'll be a good feud because I like both guys, but like, and at the end of the day, both guys deserve better. I would like to see those two feud for a world title.
Yeah.
But it's just, what does he have on SmackDown? You know what I mean? You have people coming in, but some people coming in, they're coming in. They should probably win. And Drew McIntyre, he ends up losing a lot to a lot of people, so he also needs to win. So I really, if this, and we've been told their plan, well, the whole time was to turn John Cena heel. And if your plan was to turn John Cena heel, he was probably going to win the world title no matter what on
Mhm.
SmackDown. So why the fuck would you move Drew McIntyre to a show where he can't win the world title? Why? Because he has history with Jey Uso. Jey Uso's a babyface. He could go on. If he would have stayed on Raw, he could have defeated Jey Uso. Beam, bam, boom. Right there. Easy. Easy work, dude. Now he's stuck on a show, like I said, he can't beat the world champion. So, what do you got? I feel bad. I feel so bad for Drew. I hope, they got the draft shortly after, WrestleMania or whatever the fuck it's going to be. You're going to make yourselves look stupid because you just moved him there, but you're probably gonna have to move him back to Raw because he's pointless on SmackDown now. He has no end game on SmackDown, and I don't want to have him wait another year and a half for his end game. Not only does he not deserve to have to wait, as a fan, I'm sick of people waiting for their year and a half, year long wait to get what they deserve, dude. I'm sick of it, dude. Not everybody has to wait a year and a half to get a world title, a fucking mid card title, a dude. Just when people are hot, it's okay to put the title on them or just push them to the moon when they're hot, dude. It's okay. And I don't know how you don't think Drew McIntyre would last because he will. But if you don't think someone's gonna last, oh well. The moment itself was great. The character and the run at the time was great. All that matters, dude. How many times in history do you look back at a character or title run and say, damn, that person didn't end up being, all that crazy or all that much at the end of the day, but dude, that one run, that shit was fire. I'm glad we had that shit.
Mhm.
Like, like look at all the low periods that Jeff had. Do people regret him winning the world title back then? No. People wanted it to happen more. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay for people just to have a stint that works, and boom, it worked, man. And I feel really bad for Drew, and I hope they can fix this fucking mess, dude. You put this man in a mess, and he's the one that's dealing with the shit from it, man. But what about you, man? Do you feel bad for Drew, and what's any possible outcome and endgame for Drew McIntyre at this point?
Man, I gotta utter the same sentiment that you did, bro, because he moves over to SmackDown to feud with Damian Priest. But again, that is horrible. But in the back of our minds, at least we were all thinking, well, he's going to go to Mania. He's going to have to fucking subdue himself to Damian Priest. And at least, he's going to win King of the Ring. He's going to go on to fight Cody. He's going to go on to win the World Heavyweight Champion, or the WWE Championship, right? Now, like Bell's saying, and I can agree with that, now I honestly project CM Punk winning King of the Ring and going on to then face, John Cena for the championship. But that's the tricky part, because they're going to have to put both of those guys on the same brand, because Punk, by default, will then have to face the winner of the Raw Championship. And obviously, he's not going to go on to fight fucking Jey Uso at SummerSlam or Kevin Owens. He's obviously going to be going for John Cena, whoever is the world champion at that time. So, do they move the WWE Championship over to Raw? Probably. I would think, because again, you have to challenge the champion on your brand. So, with King of the Ring and SummerSlam and the Cody program now being out of question, my God, does this fuck over Drew McIntyre royally? Because they could very well make him the World Heavyweight Champion. They could have him beat Jey Uso. Obviously, there's a beef there. Obviously, there's a beef there with the whole bloodline thing. I think I like my idea with the Kevin Owens thing better. And then obviously doing Sammy versus Kevin in New Orleans. I think I like that idea better. And like I said, having Kevin cash in on Jey Uso type thing. And then obviously, like I said, leaving King of the Ring for CM Punk. Obviously moving John Cena and the WWE Championship over to Raw in the draft. And I could see that, again, culminating with Punk winning King of the Ring and then, facing Cena at SummerSlam for the championship. I think that's the way to go. But where does that leave Drew? You mean to tell me you move this dude over to SmackDown? Originally, you moved him over to SmackDown to fight Cody Rhodes, but where we currently sit, you moved him over to SmackDown to feud with Damian Priest for WrestleMania, when you could have just kept him on Raw, where you have Roman Reigns right now, and have Roman Reigns fight Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania, because he had a fucking beef with the Bloodline.
There you go, boom.
And if you do move Roman Reigns and the Punk and Rollins feud over to SmackDown, that makes you look even more silly, because here's Drew McIntyre on SmackDown with Roman Reigns, and he's just not doing shit, even though he came back as the Bloodline Killer. I feel bad for Drew. However, I know he'll have to wait. LOL. He'll have to wait even longer, but if you do put the world title on CM Punk, there's a very easy out for WrestleMania 42 in New Orleans, where Drew McIntyre can get his moment. Finally, he can win and get his moment at WrestleMania in front of a packed house. He could win the WWE Championship there. That's an option for you. So I guess, although he won't be winning it in 2025, we'll have to wait another calendar year. He will finally get that moment in front of a full crowd of fans where he will not be cashed in on afterwards and can just have a world title reign. That's a route you can go. That is a route you can go. Obviously, the story's there with Drew and Punk, so that could be the way to go, man, at this point. So it is an option where we have to wait, and I do have to feel bad for Drew McIntyre that it looks like his 2025 plans are kind of blowing up in his face. But again, it's not like you're completely creatively bankrupt if you do have Punk win the World Championship. So
Exactly. You do have a way out. It's just, it's so annoying to wait for more things that we should not have to wait for. That thing that the guy himself should not have to wait for.
yes, absolutely, man. So WWE. It has came out as of yesterday. There was a bunch of news breaking about WWE signed Jeff Cobb. WWE has Jeff Cobb on the internal roster. Fightful dug deeper into this, and they have put out again, according to Fightful, that WWE are interested in Jeff Cobb. They have had their eyes on him as of late. According to a number of sources, one source indicated Cobb appeared on the company's internal roster this week, but has not been confirmed. He is still doing New Japan stuff, so I'm assuming he's kind of just wrapping up there, as it looks like WWE is very close to, or already does, have their hands on Jeff Cobb, man, as, this is great,
Cool.
man. This is great. How are you feeling about Jeff Cobb coming into WWE? Where would you put him, in terms of your roster, and which roster you would put him on, rather, but, and how do you see this going for Jeff Cobb?
I'm excited, dude. I really like Jeff Cobb. I think he's a great worker and he's a great look. And I'm very excited, dude. I think he would thrive at a company like WWE, man. As for the wear, that's very interesting because there's a lot of different things you could do for him on different shows. If he singles, you can't put him on the same show as Bronson Reed because that's just
I kept seeing that.
too much, too
Yeah.
much conflict. Now, you could do a temporary tag team with those two, and that would be tough as hell. That would be. But if you're not doing that, dude, I would say either SmackDown or possibly, for at least for a temporary bit, NXT you could do. Um, he would be a monster down there in NXT. For him versus, Obafemi would be an insane match to do, man. And, you got the SmackDown spot. He could easily fill, a heel SmackDown role. Could always use more of those on SmackDown. So even though you are, obviously from the looks of it, getting Aleister Black again, who feel like will be more of a heel than a babyface upon arrival. So you do got, Aleister Black coming in to me probably as more of a heel. So you space is interesting in WWE right now. Space for certain people is very interesting, but either way, I think he will fit like a glove into the WWE style and system, and that's exciting to me. Jeff Cobb, he's legit. He looks legit. He wrestles legit. And whether it's like an NXT or a SmackDown, I don't know about a Raw. Like I said, Bronson Reed kind of fills that role, unless you know, when he comes back, they move him to SmackDown and they put Jeff Cobb on Raw. You could always do that, but either at the end of the day, I think he's going to do great in WWE. I'm very excited to see how he goes, man. And I think there's a lot you could do with him, man. But what about you? Where do you think they put him? And are you excited? What do you think about Jeff Cobb in WWE?
I am very excited for Jeff Cobb, man. I've been familiar with his work for a number of years now, probably since 2018, 19 or whatever. Um he's a tremendous worker. He has one of my favorite finishers in the game. With the Tour of the Islands. I love that spinning power slam. I think it's a fucking awesome move. And yes, like I said, just one of my favorite finishers in the game. Jeff Cobb's tremendous. You see, I would like to see him join I would like to see him go to NXT, but then again, you also do have to take in the factor that he is 42 years old. But
Yeah,
however, if he does go to NXT, he can easily be a final
final
boss
boss.
for Ricky
Yeah,
Saints to win the NXT championship from, because again, like you said, Cobb versus Femi,
it's
you
fire.
you could, that is fire, and you could have Jeff Cobb be the one to take the title from him, and then again build him up as a final boss for Ricky Saints to eventually take the NXT championship from him. But again, he is 42, so is he going to want to come to the main roster? He's got a big enough look and he's got a cool enough move set,
Mhm.
where a lot of people will take to him and a lot of people will like him, and I'm sure he's going to do fine. I've seen a lot of people, drawing the comparison to Bronson Reed, a lot of people saying tag team. You could use the tag team. You could.
Very
A
cool.
tour of the island into the tsunami would be one of the most devastating fucking moves you could possibly think of. But you know, personally, I would personally, man, I know I wouldn't hate that. I would probably keep them separate. But
Yeah,
by the time Bronson comes back, if your tag team division is still in the state it is, they could be a great option to take the title from the War Raiders. They could be a
Yeah,
fantastic.
that'd be an insane match.
So yeah, that would be pretty nuts, bro. But no, I'm excited, man. Like I said, I've been a fan of Jeff Cobb. I know you have as well. Been a fan of his work for many, many years. And I'm excited to see him join the company. This is something that's been rumored for a very long time, but it just never happened. You know what I mean? He always kind of showed up in AEW, but you always heard he never really wanted to go there. And probably because people know how it's ran. But no, man, I'm excited to see Jeff Cobb come into WWE. He is easily, again, you could put him on SmackDown and forget about, Braun Strowman in that monster role, as just the monster guy on the show. And you could easily put him in that role, because, I would say Jacob Fatu is in the monster role, but I think he's more than that, and I think they're positioning him for more than that. I think he is trending towards that main event role. Not that there's anything bad with the monster role. I just think Jeff Cobb could do it better than Braun Strowman. Because again, Bronson Reed was in that monster role on Monday Night Raw, and he was fucking awesome at it. So there's nothing wrong with it, but again, in terms of Fatu, he is a monster on the show, but I think they're trending him towards that main event caliber guy.
Yeah, exactly.
So, nah, man, I mean, he could easily fit on SmackDown and be in that monster role, but again, you got to think, are you bringing in Miro? Because that would be interesting. Miro and Jeff Cobb, and then obviously you still do have Braun on the show. So do you do a little bit of a clash there? I don't know. But again, like I said, you could always put him on Raw and put him in a tag team with Bronson Reed. That would be fucking awesome.
We're going insane.
So it is interesting, and there's a lot of things you can do with him, man. But nonetheless, I'm excited to see him join the WWE if that is the case, and hopefully he's on his way soon. But I honestly, personally, man, I would start him in NXT, maybe at least for just a little 6-month title reign or something like that. So, yeah.
Most definitely. It doesn't have to be long because he really doesn't need to be there. But it would if you don't have a place for him, kind of organized yet. It'd be like you said, he'd be a perfect final boss for a lot of those guys in NXT.
But then again, like I was saying with Bronson Reed, if you could put him on Monday Night Raw because now, Bronson is gone. Bronson could come back, feud with Jeff Cobb, and then they end up becoming a tag team out of it, like Sheamus and Cesaro did. That could be a way. That could be a way.
The Bar was one of the best tag teams of that era, easily. That shit, they were crazy good as a tag team, man, and you could have that again.
I'm telling you, bro, a tour of the islands into a tsunami would be fucking nuts. But yeah, man, whatever he does, I'm sure is going to be okay. But like I said, when I talk NXT, I think that's a good opportunity for him to position himself as a top guy on that brand, and I think it's a good position for him to just come in and start off with, because there is a lot of guys he can destroy in NXT and position himself as a top guy, as to where a fear on the main roster would be him coming in and getting lost in the shuffle with a lot of the other monsters they have on the show. So
most definitely.
Yeah. And for the final news story here today, Backlash. Yeah. Well, Backlash has been announced officially.
Finally.
Yeah, 2 months before the show takes place. Less than 2 months before the show takes place. Backlash has been officially announced. As WWE has put out this image today, as they have announced WWE Backlash 2025 on May 10th, Saturday, May 10th, for St. Louis, Missouri, from the Enterprise Center. Man, this is... Look, now, no hate against St. Louis. I love St. Louis. St. Louis is a great crowd. but I would be lying to say I'm not a little underwhelmed that we did not keep up the international Backlash locations, man. I mean, what is this? I mean, we had Puerto Rico 2 years ago. Last year we had France. I thought they were going to keep up the international premium live event system, dude. And we're getting it St. Louis. And again, St. Louis is a great crowd, but I mean, people were throwing around Mexico. People were throwing around all these different types of locations. And I know those are just rumors, but I really just hope they went the international
Internet.
route. Now, either way, we're still going to be reviewing the show, man, and I'm sure it's going to
Yeah,
be a great. I'm sure it's going to be a great show. I'm sure it's going to be a banger pay-per-view. Um, but St. Louis is a little underwhelming, man. I mean, I was kind of hoping on my international PLEs, man. But how are you feeling about this?
definitely, man. I definitely am just kind of bummed and disappointed. Again, I like St. Louis, man. I do. They're a good crowd and it's a cool city, man. Um, but I was expecting. Trying to think of like an analogy of what I was expecting to what I was expecting a Bugatti, man. And we didn't get a Bugatti. We still got a nice car. We got, something that was nice, but you weren't expecting that. And what you got was still nice, but it wasn't what you were expecting, so you're still kind of just a little bummed and disappointed, man. And from just from how long it took them to announce this show and get this city down, I really feel like they were trying to get an international city for Backlash, and
Yep.
from the looks of it, it didn't work out. And I think that's the case here. From the vibe I get from this whole situation, I feel like something fell through. From whatever they wanted to go, and they were waiting till they got a word, and I guess they didn't get the word, and now they found an American city like St. Louis, which again, I actually do fuck with St. Louis, man. Last year, I don't remember the last time WWE went there, but last year for Dynasty, obviously, that was St. Louis, man. And it was a good crowd. It was a fun show. I liked the city.
Yep.
But like it's just damn, you were
Yeah.
just expecting that like especially like the cities that were rumored, Mexico, dude. Like, man, we were expecting some really cool stuff, man, and I like St. Louis. Just a little disappointing, man. Like you said, still gonna watch the show, still gonna review the show, man, but it's just a little disappointing, man. I was expecting a nice, great thing, and what we're getting is great. It's just not what we were expecting, man. And I'm still excited. We're still gonna get some dope ass shit on the show, man. We still get some big names on the show, obviously. But I was just expecting just that international feel to the show, and it really sucks that we aren't getting it.
Definitely, man. So, do you think this is a case of, well, obviously, I definitely, that was the first thing I thought was maybe this took so long to announce because they were trying to get
Mhm.
Mexico or they were trying to get, somewhere international, but it ended up falling through and they were just like, oh shit, we need somewhere quick. Boom. St. Louis came in
Came
clutch.
in clutch.
So that's immediately where my mind went to. But do you think maybe they're going to, ease, put their foot on the brakes for Backlash taking place, or sorry, not Backlash, but summer international PLEs, and maybe put more of the international PLEs towards the fall? Because if towards the fall is
Falls
kind of
the
when we,
weaker season.
yeah, exactly. Fall is sort of where we do get the, shows back in the States. Bad Blood was in Atlanta, and then we went to Survivor Series Canada was still North America. And then towards that sort of time is typically when we get the more North American based shows, or I guess US and Canada based shows, really. And the summer is where we get sort of the Puerto Ricos and the Lyon, France, and all the London and all this kind of stuff. Do you think they're going to maybe ease the international premium live events to the fall rather than what they normally do in the summer?
That I wouldn't be shocked about. I really wouldn't, even though that really was one of the best things that kept the summer hot, and I think they
Yeah.
will realize that when they try this. If that is true, I wouldn't be shocked. Like we're mentioning, man, the fall is like their slower season. It's between SummerSlam and Mania, and especially like around the after Survivor Series time and whatnot, and you can only do so much leading into Survivor Series that isn't just two big factions facing each other. You get, it overall is a down period, so I could see them wanting to go there to elevate those shows, man. But I really think summer is the spot for the international shows, man, and I wouldn't be shocked if they kind of want to move it to the fall to balance out things better. But I think just those international summers, I think, are just such a good feel that I hope they don't, you know, go away from. And I think if they do try to go away from, I think they'll realize how much. Not that the international shows carry the summer, but it really does help, the feel for WWE in the summer, man. So I really wouldn't be shocked about that.
Yeah, definitely, dude, definitely, and it works out great for a lot of your U.S. viewers because, you know,
It's
uh,
summer.
it's the summer, and not everybody
Mm.
wants to be cooped up in the house at night. So when the show gets done early, we get done at
They
we
start
get
at
done with,
night.
yep, we get done with the podcast. It's fucking 6 o'clock. You know what I mean? So we still have all night to really go and do whatever we want, really. But yeah, it definitely was underwhelming for sure. It definitely was underwhelming. And again, no hate to St. Louis. I love St. Louis. Well, always been one of my favorite places to visit, but damn, I was definitely expecting an international Backlash. So it sucks that we're gonna have to watch a Backlash that airs at 6 o'clock, or hopefully at least 5 o'clock here. So it's
I
definitely gonna
hope
be
so.
definitely gonna be different, man. It's definitely gonna be different. And yeah, I mean, uh it's, yeah, definitely gonna, I mean, past 2 years Backlash has been one of my favorite shows to look forward to, and I still am looking forward to it, but there was always that international aspect of it. So obviously this year we're not going to have that, and honestly that was not what I expected, man. So it definitely threw me off real hard. But regardless,
Mhm.
um it is what it is, man. So with all that, that is everything we got here today for you guys here on this episode of the news, man. And thank you guys so very much for joining us here today. Thank you guys, everybody
Yeah.
who was here. In what's up?
Yeah, trying to check ringside real quick. I don't know if you want to talk about that, but I don't know if you got the notification yet.
Whoa. Okay. Good lord.
Well, cut the outro.
According to Post Wrestling, AEW and AEW president Tony Khan filed a petition on Friday in the U.S. District Court in the Middle District of Florida, seeking to compel Ryan Nemeth into arbitration. Mm, let me see.
Arbitration.
Yeah, that's what. Let me see.
Arbitration is a dispute resolution process in which the parties select a neutral third party to resolve their claims.
Huh?
Bruh. Wait, isn't that just not isn't that just court?
It- so, arbit-
Hold on.
method of dispute and resolution in which a neutral third party known as an arbitrator is appointed to hear and decide a dispute between two or more parties. The arbitrator listens to the arguments and evidence presented by all the sides, and makes a decision called an award, sorry, which is typically binding and enforceable in a court of law. Arbitration is often used as an alternative to traditional litigation in courts,
Oh,
offering a more private, efficient, and flexible process.
oh,
Uh, it is
that makes sense.
it is commonly employed in commercial disputes, labor disputes, and international conflicts amongst areas. Okay, so Tony Khan is looking for Ryan Nemeth to take the private, efficient,
Mm-hmm.
and flexible process. He doesn't want shit getting out.
No, it's the most
Because if you're in the court
wow.
of, and if you're in the court of law, and excuse me if I'm wrong, but I don't think if you're in the court of law, dude, I don't think NDAs are really accounted for.
I don't believe they apply a lot of the times. I know whatever happens in that courtroom is going to be complete public information.
Yep.
Whatever is said, whatever is revealed is usually,
Wow.
especially in something as simple as just, a worker, being mad at a company, essentially, especially for a media company, that's not something that the law is going to, have to hide for people's privacy sakes. It's not like
Mm-hmm.
this is, a certain person crimes. You know what I mean? This is just legal action between a guy and a company. That would have been all public. And Tony Khan does not like that. And this is the most Tony Khan legal action ever. Just the hey, I'm gonna get a guy. It's gonna be all private, and we're gonna work this out so nobody knows. That is the most Tony Khan way out of things ever, and that's how this is obviously gonna be resolved, man.
That is quite crazy. That is actually quite crazy, man. Ryan Nemeth looks to be, or at least Tony Khan is going to try to force him into arbitration so their matters can be taken up from a third party and privately. That is quite hilarious because, again, like I just said, if Ryan Nemeth is in court, a lot of times they do not care about your non-disclosure agreement because you're in the court
Oh,
of law. You have to I believe they make you swear on the Bible to tell the truth.
tell
So
the truth, nothing but the truth.
that is quite hilarious. That is quite fucking hilarious, and that is the most Tony Khan thing to do. But
Right.
now, with all of that, that is going to do it for this
Never fails.
edition. It never does, bro. That is going to do it for this edition of the Notorious podcast, man. This has been episode 257 of the news. Thank you guys so very much for joining us here today. And with all that, thank you guys, man. It has always been a pleasure for my Johnny.
And Sir K.
And that is going to do it for this edition. Thank you to everybody who came out. Thank you to everybody a part of the Replay Mafia. Ladies and gentlemen, please like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you all on Monday at 5 p.m. Central with NHP Unscripted.
Peace.